Hey everyone! Today, I want to share with you the story of Titus, one of the most fascinating characters in the Bible who, unfortunately, doesn't get the recognition he deserves. Get ready, because this narrative is full of challenges, courage, and unshakable faith. So grab a coffee, get comfortable, and let's dive into the journey of this man who became one of the most influential leaders of early Christianity. Just imagine, Titus was a young Greek, raised in a culture full of philosophies and pagan gods. He grew up hearing stories about Zeus, Apollo, and other gods of Olympus, but something inside him didn't quite fit in this world of empty beliefs. He had a restless heart, a thirst for truth that none of these philosophies could satisfy. This quest led him to meet the Apostle Paul. Now, just think about the impact of that encounter. Paul was known for transforming lives wherever he went, preaching a message that challenged everything the world knew: salvation through faith in Jesus Christ. When Titus heard this for the first time, it was as if a light had been switched on inside him. That was the truth he had been searching for. He didn't hesitate for a second to accept Paul's message and become a follower of Christ. From the start, Titus showed an open heart and remarkable courage. He wasn't a Jew, and at that time, that was a big deal. Many Christians believed that Gentiles needed to follow Jewish laws to be saved, including circumcision. But Paul saw something special in Titus and decided to take him as a living example that faith in Christ was enough. So they went together to Jerusalem to face one of the most heated debates of the early church: the acceptance of Gentiles. Picture this scene: Paul and Titus, a young uncircumcised Greek, standing before the church leaders in Jerusalem, including Peter and James. Tension was in the air. Many looked at Titus with suspicion, but Paul was determined to defend the freedom that Christ had brought. He argued passionately, explaining that salvation didn't depend on rituals or traditions, but on faith. And Titus stood firm, not giving in to pressure. His presence was so impactful that the leaders finally recognized that God's grace made no distinction between Jews and Gentiles. It was a historic victory, and Titus played a crucial role in it. But this was just the first of many battles he would face. After Jerusalem, Titus accompanied Paul on several missionary journeys. They traveled through cities, faced persecutions, and unimaginable challenges. During one of these trips, Paul received troubling news about the church in Corinth. It was in crisis, divided by conflicts and moral issues. The situation was so complicated that Paul decided to send Titus there. Now, imagine the responsibility. Corinth was a large and prosperous city, but full of corruption and immorality. The church was divided, influenced by the pagan customs around it. Many disrespected Paul's authority, even questioning his legitimacy as an apostle. Titus knew it wouldn't be easy, but he also knew he couldn't back down from the challenge. So he went, determined to restore unity in that community. Upon arrival, Titus showed impressive wisdom for someone so young. He didn't just confront the problems head-on, but did so with compassion and love. He met with church leaders, listened to their complaints, and sought to resolve conflicts with patience. Little by little, his firmness and gentleness earned everyone's respect. He managed to reunite the church and brought back an encouraging report to Paul, who was relieved and grateful to have someone so reliable by his side. But Titus didn't stop there. After resolving the crisis in Corinth, he was sent to Crete, an island known for its rebellious and difficult people. Paul himself described the Cretans as liars, evil brutes, and lazy gluttons. Imagine the mission. Titus had to bring order to the church there and appoint leaders who were examples of faith and character. It wasn't an easy task, but he was ready. In Crete, Titus faced resistance and cultural challenges. The society was marked by lies and corruption, and many false teachers were trying to distort the gospel. But he wasn't intimidated. With a courage reminiscent of Paul's, Titus confronted these false teachings, defending the truth firmly. He taught the leaders to live with integrity, to be blameless, and to lead their families with honor. Titus not only organized the church, but also impacted the society around him. His example of honesty and faith transformed how people viewed Christianity. He became a model of leadership and character, showing that true faith is demonstrated through actions. Despite all the challenges, Titus never lost his humility. He knew his strength came from the faith he carried in his heart. And despite all the respect he earned, Titus never sought glory for himself. He was always focused on fulfilling his mission, no matter the difficulties. He was a leader who didn't need titles or recognition. His commitment to the truth and his love for people made him an example of faithfulness and courage. But beyond all this strength, Titus also had a generous heart. He helped Paul organize a collection for the poor Christians in Jerusalem, showing empathy and care for those in need. He led by example, demonstrating that love for others is the greatest testimony of faith. Titus wasn't just a follower. He became a respected leader, a dedicated pastor, and a loyal friend. His story is a powerful reminder that God uses ordinary people to do extraordinary things. He showed that it doesn't matter where you come from, but where you're going and the purpose you carry. And what about Titus's legacy? He continued to serve with humility and faith, leaving an example that echoes to this day. His name might not be as well known as Paul's or Peter's, but his influence was profound. Titus is a living testimony of courage, love, and loyalty to God. So, did you enjoy learning about this epic story? If this narrative touched you, don't forget to leave a comment and share it with someone who needs to know about this journey of faith and courage. And if you want more inspiring Bible stories, stay tuned here. See you next time.